come on in, come on in. Grab seats down here. Come on, grab seats down here. So again, there's going to be a lot of opportunities today for you to take action. And the market only pays you for taking action. The market doesn't care what your background is. The market is the great equalizer. Doesn't care anything. As long as you take action, the more action you take, the more rewards you get. Just like in life.
How are you? How's your night been gone? I said, I'm not that type of guy, you know.
I will be sharing your strategies, I'll be sharing your ideas, I'll be sharing your trade tips and everything. But if you don't have the proper qualities inbuilt in you, if you don't have the discipline to do what it takes every single day, then forget it, you will never achieve success. What is primary is this. What you have here will relate to what you actually achieve in life. Not just in short term, but in the long term.
This is an award for like 1,000 USD in a single trade. Yeah, so this is an award that I got today. I achieved this award within about 15 days into my trading.
The one for you. How could you make me feel so good?
This is the first person in our community to officially get this award. And this award is going to Bernard Kor! $100,000, brother. Come. But Bernard, how can people get this award?
Be thick-skinned. I always say the same thing. You don't know, you ask. Number two, be disciplined. Discipline meaning that you need to set a schedule. On a weekly basis, this is a time I'm going to spend on learning about crypto. Not about when you wake up, you feel tired, I'm not going to open up my laptop. Third thing is having the right mindset. Meaning that being positive, learn whatever you can, mix with the right people, and grow at your own pace. And I always say that trading, the objective of trading is actually to make money.
I like it that you share a lot of tips that is not really discussed in other areas. Like for example, trades from like maybe the Solana and the potential that those non-directive kind of trades that we can potential to actually be the next Solana that can burst up like few thousand%. That's something that I like.
You know that you are not alone, so you come here, you can feel the energy. So when you go back, you will not lose the steam.
It just actually basically opened my exposure. I feel really great. The energy and the ambience here is really different.
I just won the 1,000 USDT in one trade. And what I love about live events is to talk to fellow traders, talk about their trades, talk about life.
Alright, okay, so I also won the 1,000 USDT in a trade award. So basically what I like about the live events is to really catch up with friends within the community and make new friends from these live events.
So I won the 1,000 USDT per trade award. And the live events, just 4 words, yeah? Very inspiring and very energizing.
So I won the $1,000 USDT trade, the single trade award. The live event adds a lot of realism. I mean, a lot of it, people might think it's all fake, but here you're meeting real people and you have a network where people can share their strategies and share their ideas with you. And the best of all, you've access to the coaches live. You can go and talk to them, talk to real people and coaches, and just learn more.
Hi, I won the 1,000 USDT in a trade award. What I like about coming to the live event is meeting other traders and just sharing and getting to know people and picking up tips.
What I like about the live events is that I love the community. I've made really good friends that we can trade and share notes with, and we learn a lot along together in this journey.
I just won a 1,000 USDT in a single trade. One thing I like in attending a live event is you'll get meet with your fellow trader, CRP community as well, and you will learn a lot of things from the coaches and also from your fellow CRP family members.
We've got some amazing people, speakers who have actually brought along, many of them are multi millionaires. right, who trade with millions of dollars. And the whole idea behind the future is very, very simple. I really want y'all to learn, I want y'all to earn, I want y'all to really understand the mindsets of what it takes to be able to trade bigger sums of money.
The weekend so far in Phuket?
Oh, it's crazy. It's one of the best and amazing Phuket trip.
Cool. And how many trades have you done in a row that made money?
Oh, see, I already done 10 trades in a row. Already make about $500-600.
$500-600
on the sniper trade.
On the sniper trade. How long does a sniper trade last?
Only 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Is it risky? Yes or no?
No risk.
So what would you tell the people who are on the fence whether or not they should come to the next live retreat? What would you say?
I would say, go for it.
Go for it.
Don't have to think.
Excellent. High five. How has your trading experience been so far?
Oh, it's very good. I did a lot of trades and it's all in profit. Yeah.
All in profit. But how many trades have you done just in the last couple of days?
Maybe 10 trades.
10 trades in a row. Wow. And how much is that monetary wise?
10% of the portfolio at least. Not a lot, maybe about 1,000 plus.
1,000 plus.
Because I put like very small position.
Very small. And what would you say to them who are on the fence whether or not they should come to the next event in Vietnam? What would you say to them?
Y'all should come and try. It's really a lot. You gain a lot of knowledge and then you learn a lot of things from the rest of the experts, rest of the team.
Hello. Is everyone in already? If you can hear and see me clearly, please type something in the chat box. Oh, hello, Idris. Always so early. Hi, Andy. Hello. Okay, good. Yeah, I always need to remind myself that there will be a lag when we do live on YouTube. Okay, hold on, let me, I'm sharing screen already, right? You guys can see the chart I'm showing here? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, thanks, Jessie. Okay. All right, so welcome everyone for today's AMA. All right, so as usual, this session is open up for all kinds of questions. If you have like, trades you want to go through or certain coin you want to go through or anything else, right, just type it in the chat box. Okay, so as usual, at the beginning of the session, let's just quickly take a look of the market for the past few days or the recent weeks, right? So I think the last time I do AMA was like somewhere earlier this month, right? So I was saying that, okay, first of all, right, September being called rectable,
is basically somewhere. It's a month that the market is having some corrections, some like not so stable kind of movement, which is actually quite true, right? You can see for the past few weeks, the price movement is not so regular, and then from time to time you see and we do had that crash of price earlier this week also, right? So in a way, as I mentioned previously, right, this is a month when if you want to still plan or calculate your spot position, right, there's a good chance. I hope you all have already solidified your action plan for especially for your spot portfolio, and also got ready or started to get into position already. And hopefully this is almost to the end of September already. Hopefully we get enter October, right, as the history shows. Okay, so for the past few days, in fact this week then we start to see a big correction, right? So some of the token that personally I was eyeing to get, right, I'm seeing the price getting closer, approaching to the targeted entry price I'm setting, right? So yeah, let's see for the, today is already Friday, right? Let's see for next week, the last week of September, right, how's the price movement goes, and whether or not we can, for me, whether or not I can get into full position, right, and then hold the position until October. All right. Yep, so without further ado, right, let's open up for questions, right? So if let's say for the past few weeks you have any trades you want to go through, or any coins you want to go through, right, or any trade idea you have in mind that you want to you want us all to review together, right, just make sure you let me know what is the token and what is the time frame you are looking for and what kind of direction you are looking for. Okay, let me turn on the aircon. Oh, okay. I saw a message. Can we view on Ondo? Okay, sure. Okay, Ondo. Right, so Ondo was Okay, so Ondo at the beginning of the week actually just had a broke down from a obvious double top and also a significant support line here, right? And short after that, it also broke down from 200 MA and just did a retest around this support line around 0.946 range and continue to go down, right? And then right now we're sitting at another support line here, right? So right now, simply you can see that on the slightly bigger time frame on 4 hours, a downtrend is already formed, right? So what kind of trade setup we are looking for? Link GQ, right? And any difference using perpetual chart and non-perpetual? Okay, for spot chart, usually because of it's being spot, right? So sometimes you see less volatility in the charts. That's why you don't see as much wicks in the chart itself, where the perpetual, usually there's more volatility. All right, so but in terms of the price point, right, not that much of a difference. Okay, looking for long. Okay, so simply put, if let's say right now, if you're looking for opportunity to long, right, you are obviously looking, if you are looking for long now, then you are actually looking for opportunity to long against the trend, right? Because now that it's already on the downtrend, right? So depends. Even let's say right now, as you can see, the 0. Around 858 range is like obviously a very strong support. Previously, this had already held the price to bounce from here for three times, right? And then right now, if we zoom out, you can actually see a big range of the price movement between 858 to 1.09 range, right? So if you're looking for long here, that means you must wait. You must see this price actually really bounce up from this price instead of breaking down, right? And even if let's say you were too long, after if let's say you see a bullish candlestick here that bounce off from this support line and then go up, right? Then you still need to be careful because, right, when it goes up, right, make sure you take the opportunity to take profit along the way, because as you can see, if let's say this price movement is just rebounds or pullback on the way for it to go down, right, there's chance when it go up, then it might just have a retracement retest and then continue to go down from here. All right, that's a bearish scenario. Then if it's a bullish scenario, then if you long here, then also same thing, you need to take profit along the way, right? If it retest successful, then go down, then that's where you stop. You get out of the trade, right? But if let's say the price actually continue to go up and then break all the resistance, like your 50 EMA or 200 EMA along the way, right? Then by then we'll see most likely a reverse of trend, right? Or another way to long with with more guarantee is you wait for it to break above the resistance, which is around 0.977 or to 0.98 range, right? By then, when it break up, then you will same thing, right? You will see all the trend lines as well as EMAs being brought back as well. Then we will be seeing an uptrend, right? So there will be two scenarios. If you just use a historical price movement as an example, right? Either if you enter here, you are trading against a trend. So always make sure you take your profit and get out the trade when it hit a resistance, just to protect your capital as well as your profit, no matter how big or how small it is, right? Then that's one way. If you play safer, wait for it to actually break above, right? Then when you enter a proper uptrend setup, then you long, right? Then the upside will be obviously more secure, more guaranteed, and also stronger, right? Can show the example of volatility that I explained earlier. Okay, let's say using Ondo as an example. Yeah, so let's say now I'm showing you both Ondo. One is perpetual on top, and then this is a spot at the bottom, right? You can see actually not much of a difference, right? But let's say whenever there's let's say a volatile price movement, let's see okay, zoom in a little bit. Right, so for example, you can see So previously, earlier this week when there's a crash, right? You can see the price volatility, which means the price, like the range of the price movement is a bit bigger, right? So for example, you can see for the spot, the token itself, when there's a flash dump, right? The price actually fall until 0.8885, right? But if you see the lowest price point, the perpetual actually react to is 0.8832. That means when the crash happened, the spot was held at a slightly higher point, but the perpetual price crashed a bit further down. Does it explain the difference? So that means, for example, for spot, it move up 10 cents. Then for perpetual, because there's chance of using leverage, right? So the change might be amplified, right? Depends on the percentage. Also, depends on the open orders stays in the market. So for example, this token, the spot price went up from $1 to $1.10. And then on the perpetual, because it's amplified, right? You may see the price move up to $1.15. So slightly higher than the spot itself. Okay. Do I use the USDT to predict the long or short? Okay, it gives you an idea. Let me turn off this. It gives you an idea whether, when it shows roughly at current market sentiment, is there a tendency for the price to go up and down? So for example, right now, right, previously you see USDT is at a resistance around this level at 4.54-ish%, right? When it break above, then obviously it's going up, right? When USDT is going up, it simply means people are getting USDT. That's why the USDT's dominance percentage in the market is more, right? Then for USDT's dominance, for more people to hold USDT, it only means one thing: they are selling off their crypto in exchange for USDT, right? So that's why when it finally break above the resistance and then start to go up, right, it's corresponding to the crypto coins, or basically other crypto altcoins, or basically any coin, right, to go down, right? So let's say previously, if you right now, that it just hit another resistance level around 4.7-ish, and then now it's actually indecisive, right? You can see it's consolidating here, right? Not kind of stuck, haven't break above. If for me, it's pretty clear that if it break above, then there are chances for it to continue go further up. Then by then I will expect the cryptos, all the other tokens, to drop further. But let's say if later it get rejected by this resistance and start to go down, right? Then within this range, while it going down, right, I can expect a recovery from the crypto, other tokens. So right now, I think it doesn't, you cannot, really predict the future just because there's a USDT percentage. But at least it gives you an idea, what kind of scenario can you expect. Andrews, so for spot chart, usually we just use daily chart, right? We can, depends what you use spot chart for. Are you looking for, intraday trading, or are you looking for spot holding or investment, right? So for spot, usually, no matter what, it's you look for bigger time frame if you're looking for a slightly longer period of trade plans, right? Not say you ignore 4 hours, right? Even let's say if there are people do day trade or swing trade on spot also, right? Then if that's the case, then you are looking for a smaller time frame to get into a more precise, more precise kind of entry price point to enter or exit, right? There's no time frame to ignore. It just depend, like you choose which one you look at, depends on your like trade preference or your trade setup. So can I say that if USDT ranging, best don't trade? Yes and no. Yes is, let's say you are expecting a big price movement, right? Like for example, if like we don't know what's the, do we have a, let's say for example, right, if let's say if the USDT actually break above the resistance and continue to go up, right? So obviously you have a range for you to, you know, for you have a bigger range like for the price to move, right? And same thing if it get rejected by the resistance and come down, then for, let's say for you, when USDT percentage coming down, you expect the rest of the token to go up, then the range is bigger, right? So while it's, you know, stuck at very near the support resistance, ranging, consolidating, haven't decided where to go, when you trade, you need to be extra cautious and cannot be greedy, because you know that until this one give a clear indication or give of a direction, then if you are trading within this small range, then that means for the particular token, right, if you know, once you are in a bit of price movement, a bit of profit or a bit of loss, you need to get out, right? Because it can U-turn anytime. But if let's say you don't like to, you know, like, you know, scout for those small percentage of profit, then yeah, best don't trade. So we can avoid the whole, you know, confusion and waiting and frustration period of time. If it starts breaking the 4.72, then we look, yeah, if it break above, not say 4.72, right? You can see on daily chart there's a major resistance of 200 MA. I would say this is like a range, right? So if we clear this range, like here, right, if it close above, right, then as I said, there's a chance, right, there's a room for it to go further up until it hit the next resistance, right? Then during this period of time, then yeah, like for me, that's where I will look for like short setup. But of course, you still need to, you know, do your TA for the individual token you want to trade. You cannot just simply because USDT broke above and then there are chance for it to go up for the rest of token to drop further, then you just short any token, right? Still need to do your TA, do your drawing, do your charting on that token you think that, you know, really give you the right setup to short. Is CRO a good coin to keep? CRO sounds familiar. What is this? Chronos. Like, it looks familiar. Wait, CRO is a crypto.com's utility token, right? I mean, okay, all the platform token, right, or exchange token, right? There are always, I mean, if there's I think you all heard before, right? If it's a bull market, all the exchange or platform token can definitely benefit, because a lot of people run into the market. They use exchanges, they use the platform. Then, especially for crypto.com, right, to transfer, to store, to convert, right? You always need to pay the transaction fee in CRO. Right, then obviously the value will be, you know, sort of held up that way. But is it like a good coin? I mean, I would say there's utility and function behind it. It's similar to every other, you know, platform coin, right? And whether is it good, I would say for exchanges, right? Very simple. You just compare like the exchange or the platform itself, right? What's their performance? What's their market share? Are there a lot of users using it, right? Like out of like 5 million crypto traders, how many of them use crypto.com? Right? Simply, you can by comparing all this, then you can see, is this exchange that will be very can stay established and then stay strong, right? For personally, I mean, I hold CRO tokens because I use crypto.com, right? But I'm not an investor to that token myself. No problem. Okay. Granado. Hyperliquid has dropped quite a bit and is ding-donging around 41 USD. Is it a good token to buy soon as spot? I mean, Hyperliquid is definitely one of the most one of, not say most, but one of the very high commonly used and a lot I mean fast grown index for this cycle, right? Price point wise for Hyperliquid, let's see. Okay, yeah, I think so personally Hyperliquid is in my spot portfolio, right? So you can see for me, I actually have planned this tree in, I mean, just to share my own spot positioning, right? So for me, I actually have these 3 entry points to get into spot position on Hyperliquid, right? So I just got one field and the rest see where it goes. I mean, for me, after doing my research, I find Hyperliquid is a promising project, at least for me, and it's in my portfolio itself, right? But whether is it a good token to buy, then depends on what's your idea on this project, right? Do you find it, do you foresee this project being, grow even faster, take more market share, you see more people to trade on it so that you can start to make more profit and grow faster and faster, gain all the attentions, then only it defines whether it's a good project to you or not. Yeah, so in a way, because I mean Hyperliquid honestly is relatively new, right? The token is not even listed in most of the major exchange, right? It's not on Bybit also, right? So sorry, not on I can't remember, another big exchange, but yeah. So in a way, we all know that for a relatively new token, right, if they really do well, right, when they get listed on the bigger exchange, then the price, obviously there's still a chance for it to pump a bit more, right? So to me, it's not a bad thing that it's not listed on Binance yet. But just that if let's say you cannot use Bybit, then depends on where you stay, right? If you can use Bybit, then can purchase. For me, I bought it on Maxi because I cannot use Bybit. For my spot trading, do I use other time frame besides daily? For me personally, I don't. I like to keep my spot trading simple, right? Because spot trading is something, it's slightly longer term, right? No, I mean, I don't see the point for me to look at small time frame, right? But of course, if let's say, for example, if let's say I'm looking to set my first take profit point, right? So if I look at the daily chart, I can't decide whether am I setting it at 51.8 or 52.2, right? Then I can zoom into a smaller time frame and find a price point that has more price point touched. But for tokens that don't have much of a history, right? That means you don't have much like data, let's say past resistance or support on the chart, right? Then it doesn't make much of a difference. But let's say, for example, if we look at SUI, right? Then if let's say I cannot decide whether I want to sell here or here or here, right? Then I can actually zoom into let's say on daily chart, right? I can see a resistance here, right? And then here also a resistance. So I cannot decide where to actually put my sell order. Then I can zoom in to find a more precise price point, right? But honestly, it doesn't like, I mean, for me, I just, usually I just play safer, right? Don't go for the extreme tip. Okay, so daily or 4 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours actually doesn't make that much of a difference for spot trading, at least for me. What's my XPL view? XPL is what? I'm not familiar with this XPL. It just got listed on Binance. Okay, it sounds familiar, but what does this token do? I mean, I personally is not investing into this token for sure. Maybe just share a bit about what this token is about. Yeah, but also you can see, right, when a token, it's a very new token, right? Listed on Thursday. Plasma sounds familiar. Okay, just please type in the chat box, share a bit of what is this token about, right? The competitor Esther is surging. Will it affect? Yeah, I mean, yes, Esther is really coming strong as a competitor, right? Yeah, I mean, when there's competition, then obviously, when the whole, okay, I would say, let's say when the altcoin season start, let's say we mentioned, right, actually the funds rotates by sector because, yes, when like the altcoin comes, right, all the altcoins can pump, but usually, right, at one period of time, because y'all know like crypto is very like attention driven, hype driven, right? So if let's say this week everybody is suddenly go pump like AI token, then AI sector, then obviously that sector won't have as much fund flowing in as AI, just example, right? But so let's say when, for example, within DEX sector, right, this week everybody is hyping about DEX. Then within this sector, right, which one got more attention? If Esther got more attention, then obviously the price movement or like chances of it going higher in terms of percentage, right, will be higher compared to Hyperliquid. But so that's why even within same sector, when the sector is doing well for this period of time, be it a week or month, right, doesn't mean every token within this sector will do very well, right? So yeah, so if let's say Esther really got more, caught more eyes, right, compared to Hyperliquid, then maybe Hyperliquid, let's say for example, pump 10%, Esther pump 20%, right? So in that way, it's affecting Hyperliquid's price, right? But but until that day really happen, that we don't know how much can it be affected. Right? None of us can predict the future, man. Karen, for Singaporeans, can you still withdraw money from Maxi without KYC? All this while I don't do direct withdrawal from Maxi, so this one I'm not sure. I always transfer it like wire, as in I transfer it on chain. I transfer like USDT on chain out of Maxi, right? So whether, I mean, if you want to test out whether it still can withdraw money or not, you need to test it out yourself. Josephine, although the price are correcting, is uptrend, should we look at shorting at this environment? This period of time, the price is correcting, at the same time it's not very stable. It tends to be quite volatile, right? So if you don't feel comfortable or you're not familiar with trading in this environment, right, it's definitely best to stay out of the market. All right, but let's say if on a smaller time frame, if you see the chance of it taking a break, that means having a little bit of pullback, let's say, even though it's same as how you long on an uptrend, right? Same if you want to short on a downtrend, you just make sure you wait for the price to take a break, pull back to retrace a little bit, then you enter the short, right? Same thing if you flip this chart, that means if the price is strongly going up, then whenever you see a chance of it, pull back to have a little bit of correction like that, then that's where you look for opportunity. Like for example, on an uptrend, right, when you see the price goes to retracement zone, that's where you take a chance to long, right? So same for shorting, right? If you look at it on the downtrend, when it goes like that, then obviously you don't short, right? But when you see a chance of it pulling back to retracement zone, then if you can find an entry, you can still short, right? Always sell at the resistance and then buy at the support, right? So the theory of trading is not that much of a difference. All right, and whether is it like uptrend or downtrend depends on what time frame you're looking for. Like generally speaking, you can see most of the token are like until this week, right? Previously it was holding an uptrend. So right now you can actually see some tokens start to show a sign of reversing. Then on the smaller time frame, right, they are already in a downtrend, right? Then just trade according to your own TA, right? But if let's say you want to, like if you are a trader on 4 hours, then obviously here, right, either you trade it as a breakdown, right, or you wait for the downtrend to solidify. So that means it really that you wait for all the EMAs really cross below for you to have a proper downtrend to start trading. Yeah, so as I said, also depends on which token you are looking at. Make sure it passes your TA for short. Plasma chain. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it just launched last year's, Thursday, which is last night, right? So the project itself, I heard of it before, but I don't think I did any research or study on it. So I'm not here to judge on its FA, right? But in terms of TA wise, I mean, I also can't do much because this chart is really, really new, right? If let's say is there a reason if let's say you find this project, like worth checking out, do share with us, right? Then we can maybe look. Then I'll probably do a deep dive on it. In terms of TA, I mean, this is 1 hour chart, and I don't really have much to draw or analyze. Okay, but maybe I just note down this later. After the session, I can go and do a bit of research. Okay, thanks for sharing. I miss any question? Okay, Karen, you repeated your question twice. So as I said, I don't do direct withdrawal. So whether can it be done with or without KYC, you can always email the Maxi customer service to check with them directly, right? Because if let's say there's some like an update in their policy and it's not announced, then it's better to find out from them directly. Then that's the safest. All right, welcome. Any more questions? Potential coin to trade. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Yeah, I mean, same as just now when I was analyzing the USDT, right? So right now, obviously, we're actually stuck at the resistance here, right? So for the next few hours, right, if let's say I actually see a rejection, like a bearish candle form, because this is a 4-hour time frame, so this candle will close at 12, right? So for now, what we can do is we find some potential trade setup, but wait for it to be validated, right, by the trend, overall trend, then take action, right? So right now, if let's say there are two scenarios, right? If let's say it break above, then we are expecting more drop, right? If it got rejected and go down, then all those tokens that have dropped a lot can take a break and then recover a little bit, have a bit of pullback, right? So actually, I think earlier on I was looking at the chart. Most of the chart are pretty similar. They are all sitting at the support line, right? Because USDT is sitting at the resistance, then they are sitting at support. So actually, same as the Ondo I analyzed at the very beginning, right? So here Ondo is sitting at the support here, right? Then obviously, if for USDT to get rejected, then we probably can expect a recovery, right? A bounce back from here, right? To a go further up, like that, right? But if let's say later the USDT actually break above the resistance, then by then we can also expect it to break down from this about 0.86 support line, then go further down, right? So like say for example, using Ondo as example, it's actually sitting very nicely at the support already, right? So now I can see, like, if you are looking for potential token to trade, then I can actually have this in my watch list, right? Then I will just wait for it for the next few hours, right? See which one happen. Does it break down 0.86 ish kind of range? Then I can then obviously then I can do a short, right? Then till the next support line, which is around here. Then yeah, so I can aim for a short for this much at least of price movement, right? But if later the USDT actually got rejected, right, then close below the previous low, which is around 4.67, 4 points, yeah, this percentage, right? Then that means I'm expecting it to go down at least to this range, right? Then for it to, definitely enough room for it to pull back, right? But I also mentioned, because if you long as here just because it bounced off the support line, then you are actually longing against a downtrend. Then make sure don't be greedy, right? Always take profit and secure your capital before it hit a resistance. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say, if, as I said, most of the chart actually looks similar, right? So the idea of, like, potential same potential setup, I would say, is pretty similar, right? So same thing, right? I can just repeat the same analysis for quite a few of tokens. Is there any, like, a particular token you're looking for? Yeah. Yeah. Plus minus, yeah, not much difference, right? Just like the price point or the how far it is from the major support and resistance. But in terms of chart, more or less look the same. like, is there any token you find nicer, prettier than other token? Then we can go through. Yeah, so for example, you can see dot, right? Right, I mean, dot wise, this range is like a strong support, right? So I mean, still the same idea. Basically, if it doesn't break below, then it's like, then that means it will bounce up. Then you can expect a big room for long, right? Then, but if let's say you are same as just now the Ondo, right? If you want to long, make sure you exit. I mean, take profit before it hit the resistance. If you want to continue longing, right, wait for it to actually break above the resistance and return to a uptrend, right? But if it break below, right? So as I said, the chart more or less look the same, but we want to see the chart token that have better, room for risk to reward ratio, right? So for example, dot, right, you can see the price, like it doesn't have a very, very clear price point, right? So in that case, that it can range. There's a range for it to be considered as a support. Then in that case, like obviously compared to dot, then I prefer to trade Ondo because that support price point is more like clearer, simpler, right? So for this one, honestly, if it break below, I still need to, I will still be a bit worried that what if if it break down this price point like 3.808, right? But because previously the price point also reacted to 3.713, right? Either if I short, either I need to take profit here, or I rather wait for it to break below this point. But after it breaks below this point, I still want to see it break below the 3.618 price point, right? So for this kind of chart is something I don't like to trade. So the move, the direction or general chart, most of token look the same, but you just pick the one that can potentially give you the nicest, easiest setup, right? Keep your trade simple. Keep your trade setup simple. Link. Okay, link. Yeah, okay, link not bad. Yeah, so the support line is around 19.96 ish, like around this range, right? So yeah, so for me, very simply, I will just have two setup. One is to, if it bounce up, then look for long, but it's like almost like a scalping lah, because immediately you can see there's another resistance here, right? So if you're longing because you're trading against the trend, you need to be more cautious. Then make sure here, and here, right? Every small little resistance, take profit, right? If not, the safest is wait for it to break above like the major resistance, which is about 20.8, 20.9 range, then long. Then if you are looking, if we break down, let's say I can set alert here. If we break down, then I can look for opportunity to short, right? Then just make sure the major support is here, right? But in between, you can see some small little support line, right? Remember to take profit or move your stop loss along the way. Yeah, so the expectation is for it to go like this, like that, or go like this, like that. Okay, I mean not the exact price point lah, but just an illustration to give you like to give you an idea what do I see, like what kind of scenarios am I expecting to happen, right? What kind of trade setup I will be waiting for. Hi, you notice I have yellow and crayon leaves. What are the criteria to be in my yellow and cyan leaves? Is it the time frame? No. Okay. The the yellow, the orange leaves are the coins I'm monitoring more closely, like today, right? Then the cyan list is something I shortlisted, right? But uh, like it's like a first round of shortlisted list, and then orange is my final shortlisted list. That means for looking for trade, I'm looking at these few tokens more closely compared to this, right? And sometimes it's I don't yes, let's say, and if let's say the particular trade I'm in is like, let's say for this particular trade I'm in position, right? Then I will put under my daily, right? But for the past few days, because market isn't moving much, right? There are some token I traded before, but I haven't removed it, right? So for example, if let's say for today, for my first round of shortlisting, I filter off to like these 20 tokens, right? I didn't count, but just example, let's say there are 20 tokens, and then when I do my second round of shortlisting, I filter off, and then I pick the 3 tokens I want to really closely monitor and potentially enter. Then I will highlight them in orange, right? And then once, let's say I'm done with trading TIA, right? What I do is maybe I will just bring it back to the cyan list so that I won't be looking at it already because I'm already out of the position. Okay. So orange is the one that I'm really like that means I probably pay more attention to within the day. No worries. Oh. Okay, so now it's 10 o'clock. We see some coins pumping. Yeah, so you see, right now, I mean the candle haven't closed. Don't jump to conclusion yet, right? But if this rejection continues, that means these candles continue to go low, go below, and right, then obviously you are looking for chances of longing, right? But wait for the candle to close. All right, right now it looked like a bearish engulfing candle, but there's always chances for it to pull back and form a like a doji reverted hammer, right? So wait for the 2 hours to complete first, right? But yeah, then you can go. But right now, what you can do is for the next 2 hours, right? If you really want to enter a trade with confirmation, right? Then you can find those trades that you think that have a better setup, clear. You can draw a clearer trading plan, right? Then you can actually start to highlight those tokens and then start to plan. Okay, if this one, for example, sorry, like for example, if this one really close below, then I'm looking for opportunity to long. Then if it happens, then for example, if Ondo by the time follow, the market sentiment and pump, then for example, then I can see, okay, if it close above this price point, right, or close above this support line, right, then I can place a long position, right? But as I said, remember to draw out all the possible resistance, right? Don't be greedy and expect it to recover all the way back to all-time high. Okay, right? Plan your trade and make sure like you plan your trade in advance, right? That's what you can use the waiting time for. And then also you can see, okay, so if I were to, for example, do a long, right? And where do I set my stop loss? This is a resistance. I need to put my stop loss slightly below, blah, blah, blah. So draft for everything and set alert if you want to, right? Then the rest is waiting game already. Okay, any more questions? Oh, no more questions? That's it, me. We can. Right. Okay. Wait. Is there any tutorial video on how to use volume indicator more effectively? I mean, volume indicator honestly is just indicating volume, right? It helps to spot a pump, right? If you are a breakout trader. For CRP, for CRP, there is no tutorial on volume indicator like alone, I think, right? But like if you don't, in case you don't know, right? TradingView actually have an academy. They have a lot of like educational tutorials. Sometimes like a certain indicator, if I don't see a good explanation or tutorial on it, right? I actually go to TradingView's academy and then go and watch their training videos. So if you really, if you're interested to learn more, right, can consider do the same, right? Because after all, TradingView itself being a very big investment analysis company or organization, right? I do believe their content, right? If not, there's always YouTube. Make sure filter a good or valuable like tutorial or video that teach you the proper stuff, right? Even not just volume, or even EMAs, right? We do have tutorial on it for simple explanation, but you want to further know or you want to see, if you really go research, there are like successful traders who only use EMA, and there are also successful traders who you only use MACD to trade, right? You can like watch their video or watch their story and see how to better interpret a trade using a particular indicator. Karen, where are the TradingView tutorial? Obviously in the TradingView, go to their academy, right? If you don't know, Google, or you can just go YouTube and search for TradingView's channel if you don't know they have a channel. Okay, I'm not gonna show my YouTube because my history is full of my personal interest, my personal hobby stuff. Okay, go search yourself. How many PC monitor do I use for trading? No. Yes. Yes. No, I use a separate monitor for live streaming so that my live streaming window doesn't block my chat, right? But for normal days trading, actually I can just use my laptop or do. It's not necessary to have a split to have a secondary screen, right? It's just that if I only use one laptop, right? This is why when I look at chart my chart is on my secondary screen. That's why when I do chart analysis, you notice I'm not facing the camera, right? Because if I put both in the same screen, then I need to keep switching in order for me to see the chat box, right? But if you are doing charting at home alone without doing anything else, one screen is good enough. But when I type, there's nothing showing on the current screen. This screen I'm sharing with you all is this entire screen or window, right? So yeah, you will see me typing on Trading View. Do you not see? Because it should, yeah, if I type, you should see the things I'm typing, right? I'm also very new to this whole live streaming thing. I'm not familiar with how the screen displays. For TradingView got, yeah, because I'm sharing the TradingView window only, right? Then whatever I type in the chat box or type on this website here probably don't show. Yeah. Okay, not important anyway. Coming back to USDT.P, if we are trading 1 hour and the 4-hour candle in USDT.D is going down, can we go long? If I okay, no right or wrong, but let's say because for small time frame, right, sometimes the price or candlestick can form one red candle, right? But because of the smaller time frame, the price is actually fluctuating, right? So you see one red candle, right? You are excited and ready to long, right? But next candle straight away go back already. So when we talk about like a bigger direction, right? To better indication of directions, right? We prefer to go to bigger time frame, right? But no right or wrong. Let's say if on 1 hour you see the price going down, right? Then you are trading on 1 hour, then chances are the token might go up, right? But same thing, it's generally the same if you are trading on smaller time frame, right? You need to be expecting like more price movement, more volatility. So that's why you cannot be greedy. Always make sure no matter how big or how small the profit is, right? Secure your profit, right? Because if 1 second you see a red candle, the next 1 hour you see a red candle, next hour it turn green, then the direction might change, right? But if it's a bigger time frame, actually the best is you look at daily lah. But a lot of y'all cannot wait. I always want to jump into trade, so at least look at 4 hours, right? So for example, if like this, you for the USDT, right, you wait for a daily candle to close, then the rejection will definitely holds more weight compared to a 4 hour, compared to a 1 hour, right? So it really depends on your trading style. Are you like a small time frame trader or a big time frame trader? Yeah, definitely. Not just 4 hours, the bigger time frame you go, the lesser noise there is, right? Because you see, if let's say 4 hours, it closed red below, right? There are chance for it to go down, right? But if you look at 1 hour, right, you know that unless by right, it should go below halfway, then only it's a stronger indication of a downward movement, right? But at least 4 hours is already, in a way, the time frame is long enough, right? At least for Coach Bernard, he referred to 4 hours, right? Which I would say already the minimum time frame you should look at. Or Andrews, I just said the entire theory why we want to look at bigger time frame, right? Because it's really for us it's like a deciding or indication for general direction. We want to see less noise, avoid the small volatilities that affect our judgment. Tonight is quite quiet compared to the last 2 runs I had. Okay, guys, any questions to share in the chat box? If not, we can always call it a day earlier. Oh. You sent a question already. Okay. No problem. Okay, anyone got trades, like past trade to analyze? Okay, Elgin, right? Like you want to analyze futures or spot, long or short? What time frame you are looking for? XRP. XRP. Futures 4 hour. Okay. Oops. XRP. Okay, XRP currently is also holding at this, but I don't quite like XRP because like this is like similar to dog, right? I cannot draw a line as support. Like there's like, because of like the wicks and all, right? It's more like a zone, right? So personally, I don't like it because then when I, pick a price for being, support resistant, right? It's not like, there's no like clear indicator price line. So if I were to draw a support, right, it's something like that. Yeah, so it's like quite a bit of range I don't like. But similarly, right now it's like holding around this, right? If it wasn't for the previous weeks, right, actually it seems like it already broke below the support line. You see here, right? But because, previously there are times that it actually go below, but then later on recover. So if I were to be very conservative, right, even all the way till here, it's still considered as a support, right? So that means for this token, for me to, decide or call it, a change, or call it, to consider this price action to be valid, right? It need, for me at least, it need to clear this entire range, right? So if I were to, call a breakout to the below the support line, to me personally, it has to break below the 2.7 range. Then only I will consider this as a proper breakout and go down further. Then same thing for it to go up. I need for it to clear this upper band, which is a 2.79, then only I will look for long setup. Okay, but Sui, on the other hand, looks a bit nicer, right? But I mean, at least for me, like it's something I like. So yeah, let me remove the past drawing. Yeah, so I can see a support line here, right, around 3.07, 3.08 ish, right? So if this yellow, so it's 4 hours, so corresponding to the USDT movement, right? Later, if it close below, then I'm expecting to see a bullish candlestick forming here, which will be around this level, right? Because you can see here also got another support, another resistance now, right? Previously it was a support and now it's a resistance, right? If for me to long, then I hope when USDT close below this one, actually hopefully I prefer to see it close above this resistance, right? For me to go for a long setup, consider as a breakup, right? Wait for retest, then that will be like that. Like that, okay, right? But because immediately there's another resistance here, so as I said, when you are, especially we are going against a trend, right? Don't be greedy. Always make sure take profit progressively, right? But if it break down, then it's like that, more straightforward. Okay, and then you just find the support, the potential support along the way, like that. Okay, yeah. So personally, I like, based on my habit, I prefer to trade tokens like Sui, right? XRP. I mean, I mentioned a few times that I don't really like to trade XRP because of its very unclear price movement. Yeah, the chart generally, like, just to me, like, it looks messy and ugly, right? Although, like, you see the direction is there, right? It's similar to many other charts, right? But its chart, the movement is just a lot messier compared to other charts. Okay. What is my timetable like for chart analysis, as in one day? And in one day, how many trades do I usually take? My timetable, like my schedule for trading, is personally, I prefer to trade in the day. That means ideally, if I wake up early, like my targeted schedule for morning trading routine is to wake up at 7, right? Then, like, look at charts anywhere between like 7 to 8 o'clock, right? So, towards the closing of the 4 o'clock candle, which closed at 8 o'clock, then that would be the best time for me to place a trade, right? Then, if unfortunately I overslept, then depends on what time I wake up, like 1 p.m., then I will still look at charts, right? And then see if I can still find a good trade to enter, right? Because technically, crypto market is 24/7, right? But you will realize at certain hours, for example, like the after 8 p.m. Asian time, which is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. onwards, which is corresponding to US stock market time, all right? Or in Asian market wise, actually morning, like 7 a.m., you can start to see trading volume start to pick up, right? So personally, I would see this two time slot is, to me, is something that is, I would say, not say the best to trade, but at least, it's like the chance of me spotting a good trade setup is higher, right? How many trade I usually take depends. If let's say I already entered a trade in the morning, right? Then if that day I'm busy, I have other arrangements, then that could be my only trade. But sometimes if let's say the trade happen to play out very well, that let's say close within a few hours, right? Then during lunch time, if I'm free, I might look at charts again, then enter my second trade. I try to avoid placing trade at night because I'm not that kind who I'm not that kind who like to stay up and then with a trade like hanging there, right? But if let's say I enter the trade in the morning, but until night time the price didn't move, like I can't do anything, then no choice, I just leave it open, right? So depends. I don't have a very like solid trading schedule. Yeah, which is also why like last time I actually trade like stocks and options, right? Which this is also one reason why I decided to learn how to trade crypto, because there's more flexibility, right? Like for like if you are a stock option trader living in Asia country, right? Then like that means you cannot sleep early, right? Every time you want to place a trade or close a trade, it has to be. You can always leave the trade open, but if you're looking to enter a trade, right, you need to wait for the stock market open. That's already like quite late at night. Between 7 to 8 a.m. No, 7 to 8 a.m. is best for me to look at charts, because 8 a.m. is a close of a 4-hour candle because 4-hour candle, let's say I look at USDT to give me a direction to trade, right? Then obviously I don't wait. If I'm not awake at 4 a.m., then I'm gonna miss that candle. So next 4-hour candle for me to check on is 8 a.m. right? Then so if I can start analyzing and like just now, remember for Ondo, I actually planned I have sort of like plan my ways of trading in both direction, right? Depends on how later on at 12 o'clock the USDT candle close and how it's gonna bring the market to which direction, right? So obviously if I can do the chart analysis before this candle close, even like half an hour or 15 minutes before the candle close, then it's like it saves me a lot of time, right? I don't need to wait for that long, right? 8 p.m. is not say best to trade, but like morning 6 to 8 a.m., right, in the crypto market, and 8 p.m. onwards in the crypto market, you can see if you just basically look at the history, just look at the past data of if you break into days, right, you can see when at what time frame or at what time, right, the volume is usually higher. All right, so it's like around 6, 7, 8 a.m. for Asian traders to join the party. Then for US traders, obviously they join around like 8 p.m. onwards, basically based on the US market open time, which is around 9 plus. Right, not say best to trade, it's just that a lot of things happen during these 2 hours, during these 2 time slots. Yeah, because although we keep saying that crypto is like 24/7, but usually like when but it's actually quite highly related to other investment asset like stocks, right, and other like even like other like what's it called, like commodity assets, right? All these trading asset more or less have some relations. Okay, welcome. Let's see if I can find a chart looks nicer than Ondo. Oh, there's question. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the chat box open till 10:30. But then if no more question, then I just call it a day. Okay. See Solana. Solana 1 hour. Okay. Okay, 4 hour is still holding around this area. Right. Let's see 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour, it's actually showing a potential. I mean, you can see previously it actually broke below the support and also the trend line, right? So you can see, right, if you look at the bigger time frame, it's like, I mean, it actually gives you the same indication, right? So basically, right now it's ranging around this area, which is this bit, right? So, and within this support price range is actually forming a double bottom pattern. Can you see here? Not a very nice one, but it is one, right? So right now it's pretty clear that this double bottom is having a net line around this range, 197-ish, right? So yeah, so in a way, just now remember I said if it close below that, expecting it to pump, right? Then hopefully if that happens, if it pump past this net line, then this breakout will be like, obviously for this kind of chart now, you need to, I mean, you can call it, depends on how you analyze it, right? But basically if let's say it break above, then it can be considered as a potential breakout, right, to long, right? So then the next resistance range is around here. Yeah, but be careful because the 50 EM is here serving as another resistance. So you need to strategize your profit taking along the way around 201. Right? But if let's say this one later on got rejected by this range, which is this net line, which is about 197.58.6-ish, then it will just, by the time it go down further, then you need to see whether can it hold at this support or not, right? Because if it holds, then this one the price will be a ranging game already. Do you see? It will be support here, resistance here, bounce, 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 bounce. All right. So if you're looking for a short, if it's me, I will wait for it to break below 190.8-ish. Right, then for long, I will wait for it to break above 197.58, 197.6-ish kind of range. Right, while it's stuck in between, right, by right, a ranging price movement can also trade. But if we look at Solana, this range is only like 3%, right? So by the time if you can catch a rejection from here, then it's like, and then the price movement within this range will be definitely less than the profit range will definitely be less than 3% already. So to me, this mid size is not juicy enough to take the risk to do a ranging trade. Okay, I'd rather wait for it to break up, either up or down. But it looks nice. Here, yeah, so if short got at least room for it to here. If long, then yeah, there's more resistance. How to determine if a support slash resistance is a major support resistance? Basically, you can see like, especially on bigger time frame, right? You see if the price reaction to this, like for example, to this support resistance, right? Is it very, the reaction, is it like a very strong one? Like for example, you see, this one is not, but like for example, if let's say, basically if this particular line has been tested so many times and still holds, then it's become a very strong base support or resistance. Then we call it a major one. Like for example, this range, right, 211, 210 range. Previously, it was a very hard to break range, right? It hit, then rejected, hit, rejected, hit, rejected, hit, rejected, right? Until it finally break up, right? And the moment you see it break up and then retest, it holds. Then that means the moment price break above, it never come back down already. Then this make this particular price point to be a very strong previous resistance, now switch to support line already. Right? So same thing later on when the price actually break down from this same price point, when it retest and continue to go down, then now it have converted back to a strong resistance, right? So that means even if let's say later the price point break above, right, you need to be extra careful when it's approaching the 211, 210 price point, because there's a chance for it to get rejected again, right? So major basically is like the it's like strong lah, right? A very basically the moment you look at the chart, right, you can see a line that is screaming at you, right? From a mouse, from 100 miles away, you can already see the line, right? Like for example, if you look at this chart, right, there's more resistance, yes, but they are not screaming at you, right? And also honestly, Solana, the price reaction is not like really it's more like a trend line reaction kind of chart. It's not so much of a horizontal chart. But if you were to draw a horizontal line, then obviously this price range is like pretty obvious to you, right? Like here, like around here. This range, right? Every time the price actually react to it. But Solana, if you trade Solana often enough, you know its price can actually slip quite a bit, right? Like when they like down, right, they can actually do a very long wick down. When it pump, you can also, just overshot the support resistance a little bit more before it come back. So Solana, honestly, I'm not a big fan of trading Solana because of the price movement. Same as just what coin was that? Not Link. Is it dot or XRP? Right? See, when you cannot have a clear defined price point, right? Every time you need to when you consider, like imagine if you were to use this as a support line, by right, when we were taught to how to, for example, set a stop loss, right? It's below support line, right, or below previous low, right, for a long trade. But this one, because this support line is not a line, it's actually quite a wide range, right? Then like you cannot, like obviously you cannot put, if I was to put below support line or below previous low, it's very hard for me to define, is this support line, is this support line, is this support line, is this previous low, is this previous low, is this previous low. So this is the kind of token I don't like to trade, especially on spot. Dot, I was just talking about dot, right? Dot is also one of them. I mean, the movement, the direction is there, right? But as I said, right, just now when I analyzed dot, I mentioned, right, dot, same thing as Solana, right? the price doesn't move very, like it just says you need to always leave a bit more buffer for you to like set stop loss, or when you set, basically your support and resistance is a wider range compared to other tokens. So if I have any, I have a choice, I would rather not trade a chart that I need to give buffer. Like same as Solana I was talking about, right? Like imagine if you're longing, right? Then because of that range of support line, when you put stop loss, right, you always need to give more room, you need to give more buffer. Then obviously then that affects how you calculate your risk to reward ratio, right? So for me personally, I will always find a chart that have clearer price movement, like clearer price like line or range or indication for me to set my like taking profit or stop loss. So actually we just not analyzed, but if you want here, then just basically the idea is similar to Ondo and all lah. So basically similar to just now the Solana, we are actually seeing the price showing a potential of holding above the support line, right? So if later USDT become bearish, right, then we expect it to bounce back further up, right? But because it's a longing against a trend, right, remember to take profit along the way, manage your risk, right? If you want to be safe, play it safer, then wait for it to break above the major resistance, then long, right? Which basically you're waiting for the trend to turn back up. Okay. If you're looking for long at 3.95, so above this resistance, like around this range, right? But because you can see, right, if you long at this range, the next resistance is very close, right? So so imagine, right, if later this candle close as a bullish candlestick above this 3.9 resistance line, so somewhere around here, if you were to enter a long, right, you need to put your stop loss below the previous highs, right, and at least here, right? But if you're longing, you see, right, immediately there's a resistance, like a major resistance, because 200 MA is here, right? So if you were to enter here and you know that minimally you need to take some profit up before it hit 200 MA, right? Then that way your risk to reward ratio is quite, like, at least for me personally, I don't like this kind of risk to reward ratio for a trade. So this is why if by any chance I can find a better setup, I won't trade dog. Do I place my trenches for spot on major supports? And yeah, I just want to show, right, my major support for my spot, like so for example, my entry for Sui, just at the major support line here, right? Did I move my line? Okay, because the support is obviously here. I think my two trenches for Sui already got filled. So main support, hopefully. Not sure whether it will happen, but my spot trading is really very simple. I just buy in at support, then set my limit order to sell at the resistance. Why will measure price movement using the ruler? For example, for BTC, takes 3 candles on 1 hour chart to reach 3%, while altcoin only takes 1 candle. Why Bitcoin movement is slow? Why Bitcoin's movement is not slow? Bitcoin market cap is big, right? Like if a token, the total market cap only 1 million, compared to a token that market cap is 1 trillion, how much money do you need to pump to move 1% of 1 trillion compared to how much money do you need to pump in to move 1% of 1 million, right? So for Bitcoin to move 1%, the same amount of money, right? If let's say I pump 5 million into Bitcoin, the price won't even move 0.01%, right? But if I pump $5 million into a small market cap token, let's say for example a token that total market cap only 5 million, that I pump in 5 million, means the price will double, right? So that's 100% of price movement. While if I pump it to Bitcoin, it's 0.0001% increment, right? It's not slow. They react, they move at the same speed, but the percentage is different because of how deep the pool is, right? You throw them same amount of money into different market cap, right? The percentage in like the change in percentage is very different. What is the purple line in Sui? I think should be my first TP. Sorry, I'm not, because sometimes I use different chart for like analysis, right? So sometimes I forgot to change it. Okay, but this I need to check again because this could be my OTP, right? I need to, but you get the idea lah. So basically, like when I exit the chart, more or less I will always find a time to go back, start to plan my re-entry points and take profit already. When and how will I shift the lower trenches if they did not get in? If I already hit 2 trenches, like the last trenches, whether or not it hit actually doesn't matter much lah. I won't really chase, right? If let's say if the scenario is like, let me find an example. So for example, if let's say using Hyperliquid as an example, because right now I only filled 1 trenches, right? If it continue to go down, then I'll just wait for this to close. But if let's say later it go down a bit, but it didn't hit, then it go back up, right? Then if by then I still, that's like at least on daily chart, that's actually like at least few weeks later already. Then I definitely have enough time to analyze the chart again over time, right? So by then, if I think, okay, seems like it's actually going back to uptrend, right? Then I can always re-enter at my first price point, right? Because by then that means they actually finish correction already and then go up from there. So it depends, like when I mean, for me, I look at the chart very frequently, right? So I can adjust my planning every few days, every few weeks. That's not an issue, right? But this price point has been there open for like quite a few, I think few weeks already, right? Yeah, so like when and how is basically I judge whether is there still like does the next support still got any chance to be hit or not. When that regarding when, then there's no fixed timing. As I say, I watch my chart almost on daily basis, so my adjustment can be quite frequent. Oops. Yeah, you see, just now, remember, like as we like about 40 minutes ago, right? Remember how bearish this candle looks like? It seems like it's about to break down anytime soon, right? You see? That's why waiting is worth for trading, right? You see what happened? Now it's turning into a doji, right? But of course, it still can't say it won't go down because we still got 1 hour 20 minutes left. All right, so always remember to wait for it. Not say fake out lah. It just it haven't do it haven't give you anything, right? If the candle close with a bit of so like a bit of body below, the next candle go back up, then you can consider it's a fake out. Right now, it's simply the candle is still ongoing. It's not fake out. Okay, cannot accuse the candle. The candle is just simply doing its thing. Yeah, you see, even on a small time frame, it didn't close below. It's not a fake out. Price is simply moving. How do I decide most probably the trend turning up? I don't see probabilities, right? If you see the trend change, then the trend will change, right? Like I don't bet for probabilities when it's here, right? But if it's here, not say this coin, not say this chart, but just using this EMA's example, when it's an uptrend, it's an uptrend. Right? There's no probability. You look at it, you know it's on an uptrend. Should TTKY, you get what I mean, right? Like so, like when the price is still swinging below, showing all the EMAs toggle together, not showing a determined direction, then that's where the price or the trend is not decided yet, right? But when you see an uptrend, you will know it's uptrend already, right? Like that. Okay. All right. 10:40 already. Do we have any more questions? If not, we can have a good night early. Okay, I wait till give 1 more minute. Wait for 10:43. Right. Yeah, one of the way to indicate or to determine uptrend is your EMAs are fanning on the uptrend. So basically your 10 above 21, above 50, above 200 EMA. Right? That's like a pretty solid indication for an uptrend. Correction for the market is still ongoing. Yeah, I mean it has been going on for the past few weeks. In fact, the whole September, right? So as long as it continue to break down from support, then that means it's still correcting, right? Like then same idea goes. If the moment you see a strong rebound of support, then most probably we can call it a pause for the correction, right? So now it's almost the last week of September already, right? If I'm not sure, right, very simple, you can always look back to the past history, right? So for example, 2024 October that time, right? You see, like it was correcting all the way to like towards, you see, it didn't really make, I mean, the October really didn't start on 1st of October lah, right? Basically, you can see towards the, like, here, right? Actually, from the, towards the last week of September, right, it's already start to show the, you know, chances of like actions or trying to, you know, retest the resistance, trying to go up already. Then, but failed, and then correction a little, then it continue to pull back a little bit, accumulated the energy. Then finally, right, so the whole October is not really the immediately pumping, right? But if let's say, but of course, this is last year, right, when the altcoin season haven't started, right? Then if let's say you search, like when was the last altcoin season, then you see whether how did the price move, right? Can not say the history will repeat 100% of itself, right? But at least give you idea. But if let's say you use Bitcoin as example, simply if you look at last year during the October, what happened? So you see September, right? The correction, it didn't really last to the end, right? Somewhere in mid-September, it actually recovered already, right? So if it were to go up, right, don't worry, right? Even if you miss the first breakout, right, I'm pretty sure there's still chance, because like the price cannot pump, like, you know, at one go, like non-stop, right? Even if it pump and show a like a reverse of the trend happening, right? At one point in one of the token or few of the token, there's still a chance to catch a retesting or, you know, pullback, right? So, and if let's say if you are waiting for a proper confirmation of an uptrend, right? You see, even for last year, it actually happened mid-October. It's not immediately at the beginning of the October, right? So if you are more like a confirmation trader, there's nothing wrong with waiting for the trend, everything to recover, to give you a more confirmed like market sentiment. Right? So whenever you know you feel like it has been correcting so badly, you know, will it never go up, right? But you see in a bull run month, right, it can actually pump, like you see, it take half a year to range within this small little range, which is right, so it can take half a year to range here, right, range until everyone, especially retail investor, lost confidence, lose faith, right? But when October actually, you know, the engine start, right, you know, you see from mid-October, right, within short of period of time, this range just seems like, you know, very significant compared to the pump, right? See, and if you were to compare, right, even if you didn't catch, you know, the deep, right, if you wait for it to confirm with an uptrend, which is here, right, there's still plenty of room to go further up, right? So, you know, if you compare to this range, this distance, compared to this small waiting period, you know, we are waiting for the uptrend to, you know, to be more confirmed, to be more stable, right? You didn't really lose much compared to the pump that coming later, right? So really no need to be rushed. Okay, I always remember, right? Nothing, there's never, I mean, really nothing, always safe to wait for confirmation, all right? Just don't get yourself stuck, you know, in a FOMO status. Don't fear, all right? There's always things happening in the future. You miss out this one, there's next wave to come. Okay, thanks, Josephine. Good night. is it safe to go into market long to invest? No. I mean, you mean now? I mean, September, in most people's opinion, is the correction when correction happening. So if you find crypto is safe to invest, or based on your analysis there's certain crypto project or asset you want to invest in, right? September is the time we use to basically to get in position, right? Because as everyone is expecting October to be the October where every token goes up, right? But if you're asking me long-term investment wise, right, be careful because based on historical data, usually like the 4 years cycle of bull market runs towards the end. If you didn't catch the right time to take profit and get out the market, then chances are like more correction will coming in the bear market. So I don't quite understand what you ask, which direction or which aspect you're asking. Okay. Oh, thanks everyone. Good night. Happy weekend. Oh, Trocky are here. The reason you ask is because sometimes we enter a trade and get caught in a big short dumping or pumping correction and hit stop loss. So now I'm doing is collect coin. Sorry, really. Oh, wait. Yeah, I mean, as the very beginning of the session, we did a comparison, right? For the same token, the price volatility is obviously much bigger, much more amplified on futures compared to the spot token itself. So yeah, when you do spot, you buy on spot instead, right? Then you don't need to worry about the price, big irregular abnormal price movement that much, right? Then obviously for buying spot, if you don't set a stop loss, you hold the token, right? So you can survive a lot of dumping. So if you don't like to take the risk of having the futures come with, then yeah, by all means go for spot. How would I be planning to take profit for this bull run? I mean, for me personally, because I'm quite an intense trader, so I can literally look at the market every day. So if let's say, then obviously my first take profit point will be the recent all-time high for those tokens who have a recent all-time high, right? Then if let's say I manage to take clear half of my position for profit, then the remaining ones I can afford to really monitor closely to see whether I can aim for a better profit. Right. So for me, because as I shared many times, like for my spot portfolio, it's really, really simple. I only have like less than 8 tokens. So for me to review on them from time to time is really simple. Right. And then there are also tokens when I buy, I already sort of predetermined a selling, like my first take profit point or even second take profit point. Right. So if it hit there, then I can easily exit already. So bull run or bear run, I mean, to me, market will be there always, right? So just take profit to me, it's my spot position are also for trading, right? So just make sure you buy at support and sell at resistance. Simple as that. Okay, thanks everyone. Good night. Any more questions? I mean, like as I say, there's no when. Like I won't know the exact date when the market, stop moving up. To me, it's more like a price point, Right? Different token might hit my take profit point at different day, different hour. Right? Everything is possible. So for me, it's really simple. When they hit resistance, I take some profit. Yeah, my spot position. I'm talking about my spot position. Oh, you missed the entire session, Jiayu. For spot, I think I shared a few times. For spot is really simple in my spot trading. Just buy at support, sell at resistance. There's no no, my future position I don't hold for long term. For futures, I'm pretty much a intraday maximum swing traders. I don't do position trading on futures. My 8 coins are here, but I'm not in position in all of them. Some, it's like these are the 8 tokens I was paying a lot of attention to at the beginning. After quarter one, yeah, because I exited most of my position somewhere in first quarter of the year. Then after that, I was like, doing my research and deciding, okay, what other tokens I want to focus on. So here, this 7. Previously it was 8. I think I removed one. Can't remember which one. Right. So along the way, I just trade them accordingly. So for example, I just buy as support. I think second quarter, right, in July. All right, so I just, somewhere in July, I just buy as support and sell at resistance along the way, right? So for me, trading spot is no different from trading futures. It's just that it takes longer to take profit. That's it. Jiayu, please. Since you missed the entire session, I'll suggest you just. Do I want to repeat from the? Okay, so. Okay, Jiayu, next time if you miss the session, don't join at 11. just go take a break. Okay, it's Friday night. Right, so basically what I was saying earlier is obviously USDT is sitting at the resistance, right? So wait for confirmation before you take action, right? If it break above, then only I will look for short. If it got rejected, then there are chances for most of the token who drop a lot to pull back a little bit. Okay. Yes, I'm not in large cap coins. No problem. I trade spot on daily chat to make life easier. Okay. Okay, last chance. If you come late, anything you want to catch up before you go? Let's just, okay, never mind. It's already 10:58. Okay, let's just close at 11. Okay, Jessie, get ready to close at 11. Okay, let me text our ops. Okay, last chance if you still have questions. Okay, all right, seems that's all. Yes, there's always a AMA alternate Friday. That means every 2 weeks we have one. Okay, so if after this week, it will be next week. Am I coming to Malaysia? I would love to. Whenever there's a live in person happening in KL, if I'm free, I will join. Okay, are we having an event for Malaysia soon? If there is, then yeah, most likely I will join. Okay, all right, seems that's all for tonight. Good night, everyone. Have a good weekend. All right, and if you are CRP members, right, if today you didn't manage to join on time, or if you have more questions, do feel free to ask in the chat, our chat groups. Okay. Oh, thanks. Sweet dream to you too. Good night, everyone. Bye. Thanks, Andros. Always early. All the best, everyone. Bye.
Society Cherry Hope Run 2024. Got a whole bunch of guys running together with us for charity for RDSS. Let's go. Keeping health as first priority. Let's do it.